working for you.
Road warriors, 32 million Americans filling their gas tanks this holiday weekend. Will rolling back gas taxes really save that much? Rain or shine, in depth tonight, just how accurate are those weather forecasts? Now the new technology they say could take the guessing out of going on vacation. The fleecing of America, it's called flipping, a scam leaving thousands of empty homes across the country. Tonight, how to know it when you see it. And L.A. story, why would a successful 71-year-old man want to take on what some have called the toughest job in America?
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw. Substituting tonight, Brian Williams.
Good evening. On this, the eve of a rare 4-day weekend this July 4th holiday, Americans are on the move, on the ground, and in the air, and in record numbers. And there is some good news tonight. The weather picture for the nation. No major disruptions, though there are some thunderstorms expected along the Gulf Coast, Southwest, and the Rockies. Nearly 52 million Americans expected to take to the air this summer, many of them this weekend alone. This is the scene tonight at LAX, Los Angeles International Airport. And AAA, for its part, says it expects 32 million Americans on the road this weekend. Some of them here tonight just outside New York, all of them facing the highest gasoline prices in recent memory in this country. NBC's Jim Cummins tonight on the increased cost of the getaway.
Talk about timing. AAA says gasoline prices are hitting new highs as all those drivers take to the road for the holiday. Many shocked by the high prices they find at the pump.
They're outrageous, completely outrageous. I'm not very happy with them.
$46.52. My wife says that's crazy.
We're going to carpool instead of everybody taking their own car.
Nationally, the price of unleaded regular at the pump is 30% higher than a year ago. Some states have it worse than others, especially in the Midwest. In Iowa, it's up 38%. In Illinois, 37%. Minnesota, 34%. And Wisconsin, 35%.
They seem to have gone up 50 or 60 cents that I can tell since last year about this time.
Up 8 to 10 cents a gallon in the last month alone. Mona Solomon, who owns this mobile station in Dallas, says, "Don't blame me."
I guess it's the oil companies. The service station owners don't have anything to do with it.
Who or what's to blame? Take your pick. OPEC, big oil companies, new pollution rules, high demand, low supply. But there's one thing we all know for sure.
No matter who you point the fingers at, the bottom line is the consumer is the one that has to pay the price.
To give some relief to those consumers, politicians in Illinois repealed the state tax on gasoline, 7 to 8 cents a gallon, beginning midnight tonight, with this warning to service station owners.
We better see that tax passed on to the people of this state and give them the benefit and not go into your pockets.
The drivers will be looking for a break.
If they roll back the taxes, if there's not a drop in price, people are going to scream.
Today, Texas Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison calls for a summertime suspension of the national gas tax, 18 cents a gallon.
We can send a strong signal that we expect people to get the price at the pump lowered by 18 cents. I think respectable business people will do that.
The good news is gasoline prices probably have peaked for the summer. The bad news is
we won't see prices come down probably until the end of the summer, and when they do come down, they probably will come down very slowly.
About the same time, most of these motorists come off the road after their summer vacations. Jim Cummins, NBC News, Dallas.
And among those heading home for the long weekend, members of Congress. In fact, the next time you hear one of them talk about wasteful government spending, ask them where they were today. NBC's Lisa Myers reports tonight on what Congress did just before they left town.
It's $11.2 billion of your money. Congress claims it's for emergencies. Money for U.S. military equipment and training to help Colombia win the drug war, for military operations in Kosovo, and to help victims of disasters, including those who lost homes in the New Mexico fires.
This is for military construction and for emergencies. We need to get this done.
But in Washington, politicians can call any spending an emergency because for them it is. If they don't get the money, they don't get the votes. Senator John McCain describes this emergency spending bill this way.
It's incredibly full of unnecessary, unwanted, unauthorized, unmitigated pork.
In fact, McCain claims $1.5 billion of your money is going for emergency pork. His list, 16 pages long. A $45 million Gulfstream jet for the Commandant of the Coast Guard. $36 million for a dam and training center in Robert C. Byrd's West Virginia. Millions for projects in Ted Stevens, Alaska, including $5 million to help this sea life center. But most unusual of all, the Republicans give $25 million to a Democrat, Congressman Jim Traficant, for a community center in his hometown of Youngstown, Ohio. Today, Traficant bragged to the folks at home.
I did what I had to do to manipulate the variables at my disposal to make it happen.
Perhaps not coincidentally, this Democrat now says he'll cross the line and vote for a Republican speaker next year.
And I want to compliment the Republican Party.
Critics call it a political payoff at taxpayer expense.
They say that they're just taking care of one of their friends. Well, I thought their friends were supposed to be taxpayers.
The Senate Majority Leader admits some projects may be questionable.
To my knowledge, I don't have anything on that list, although I couldn't swear to you, but I didn't ask for anything.
So as Congress returns home for the holiday, know that your money is going for the country's most urgent needs, battling drug dealers in Colombia and getting members of Congress reelected. Lisa Myers, NBC News, the Capitol.
And there is word from Arkansas tonight that a lawsuit has been filed seeking the disbarment of President Clinton when he leaves office. NBC News correspondent David Gregory with us tonight from the White House with more on this story. David, good evening to you.
Good evening to you, Brian. This is the logical extension of a finding back in May by the Arkansas Supreme Court's Committee on Professional Conduct that found at the time that Mr. Clinton was guilty of, quote, serious misconduct because of his testimony in the Paula Jones case. The committee seeks to strip the president of his law license, and to do that, it must file a lawsuit asserting that, in part, Clinton gave misleading answers about his relationship with Monica Lewinsky. The president has already been held in contempt of court for his testimony, but has argued that the Arkansas Supreme Court is being too harsh by trying to disbar him now. A statement from his lawyer tonight reads, quote, "We fundamentally disagree with the complaint filed today and will defend vigorously against it." His lawyers have 30 days to respond. If this suit is successful, it will mark the first time a sitting president has been disbarred. For now, the president has vowed he will not get personally involved in this lawsuit, not at least until he's out of office. Brian?
David Gregory from the White House for us tonight. Thank you. Now to Mexico, and a lot of people are watching what will be a history-making election. An estimated 58 million voters will cast ballots this weekend in a presidential election that could upset decades of one-party rule there. NBC's George Lewis reports tonight from Mexico City.
A big surprise as Mexico's presidential election goes down to the wire. Nobody knows who's going to win. Surprising here because for the last 71 years, it was automatic. The candidate of the ruling party, the PRI, the PRI, always became president. But this man aims to change all that. Vicente Fox, candidate of the opposition National Action Party, the PAN, just to the right of center and pro-business. Fox is locked in a statistical dead heat in public opinion polls with the ruling party's candidate, Francisco Labastida. He says sure he wishes he were ahead in the polls, but then adds, "I'm going to win." Vicente Fox also predicts victory.
Maybe it's because the new century, this 21st century, that brought into Mexicans the idea that we must change our country.
And both leading candidates are keeping a close eye on the Mexican electorate.
In their last-minute campaigning, Mexico's presidential candidates have targeted two key groups. The young, people 35 and under, making up a third of the electorate, and women, 52% of registered voters in Mexico.
Labastida, campaigning with his wife, leads among female voters in rural areas. But political observers point out that Fox, a former Coca-Cola executive who cultivates a macho cowboy image, draws many urban female voters who find him the more attractive candidate.
We want Fox, we want the change for the good of the people.
The ruling party, resistant to change, has always been accused of stealing elections. But now an independent commission runs the electoral process and has invited hundreds of foreign observers to monitor the voting. A former Texas governor among those observers.
The purpose of our being here
is to be witnesses to the election, to foster and encourage the democratic process.
So, what does the election mean to the U.S.? Both La Bastida and Fox have promised to crack down on drug dealers and say they'll encourage business investment. Now it's up to the voters of Mexico to decide who has the better plan for doing that. George Lewis, NBC News, Mexico City.
And when we continue on this Friday night, taking the long view, NBC News In Depth, a revolution in weather forecasting, making some far-reaching predictions.
We're striving to be able to make forecasts a year ahead of time.
Getting it early, getting it right, a change in the weather in depth, and the fleecing of America. Homes for sale, but the deals, are they too good to be true?
If someone in your family's had a heart attack, you know it can tear your family apart. But there's something you can do to help prevent heart attacks. There's Ecotrin. Ecotrin is safety-coated aspirin. Taken regularly, it can help keep your blood from clotting, to keep it flowing. No wonder cardiologists now recommend Ecotrin more than any other brand. Aspirin is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor first. Ecotrin, helping your heart beat the odds.
Ladies and gentlemen, Metro Airways is a crisis. Trans-Europe Express. Frankfurt, Rome. Top Airlines Flight 755.
You get 1 minute every morning. 1 minute when the day is fresh and full of possibility. 1 minute to help keep your body strong and feeling like a kid. New calcium-enriched Minute Maid Home Squeeze style. Full of ripe, juicy bits bursting with the taste of morning. Minute Maid Home Squeezed. Calcium-enriched to squeeze the day.
Dad, why do you shave?
Well, because I don't want a beard.
Why do you wear a tie?
That's easy, because I have to.
Dad, why do you always eat Cheerios?
Because Daddy's cholesterol's kind of high.
And a study shows the whole grain oats in Cheerios can help lower cholesterol when part of a low-fat diet.
Why do you have high cholesterol?
Well, because Daddy used to eat not such good things before he met Mommy.
Daddy?
The one and only Cheerios.
Dateline Friday, a loving father, a gifted teacher, but Richard had a secret that could shatter his world.
You knew at 5 years old?
I knew I wanted to be a woman.
Would his friends and family accept his choice?
Were they going to say that their dad wants to be a girl?
Find out. Dateline tonight, 9/8 Central on NBC.
NBC News In Depth. Tonight, the outer limits of weather forecasting. As this holiday weekend gets underway, a lot of Americans are wondering if the weather will hold up. Now, new technology is about to give meteorologists and even the rest of us a better handle on the future. NBC's Robert Hager reports tonight In Depth.
The best they can do now, the familiar 5-day forecast. But in an important step starting this October, the National Weather Service, the agency that gives all the data to every forecaster across the country, plans to expand its range, adding 2 more days. Instead of 5 days, it'll be a new 7-day forecast. And government weatherman Louis Uccellini says in coming years, it'll become even more accurate.
Over the next 5 years, we're striving to do a 1-week forecast with a level of accuracy that people feel they can use that information to make decisions.
Also this autumn, an experiment. In New York City, IBM plans to try giving much more precision to day-ahead forecasts on its website. Try predicting almost block by block. For instance, call for rain north of 42nd Street, but no rain south of there. Experts say there's a slow revolution underway in forecasting.
We're striving to be able to make forecasts a year ahead of time.
Those forecasts, a rough idea of snowy winters or dry summers, are right now delivered just a few months ahead of time. But within a decade, the government hopes to offer the estimates 12 months in advance. All this thanks to new satellites that have largely replaced old-fashioned weather stations on the ground to gather data about temperatures, wind, and weather systems. And thanks, too, to the advent of supercomputers that use that data to formulate predictions. The government's upgrading one this summer to perform calculations 28 times faster than any weather computer it's had before.
Right now, the Weather Service says accuracy is at 90% for the one-day forecast, 85% for 2, and after that it becomes a lot less certain. But with the new computers, the government hopes that 85 to 90% accuracy can hold for up to 3 days, nearly half a week.
Hopes, too, to increase its forewarning of winter storms from 11 hours now out to 18 hours in advance. That means you'll have more time to know it's coming. Increase its forewarnings of tornadoes from the present 12 minutes to 15 minutes ahead. And do better with hurricanes, too, where the average prediction of landfall in the next 24 hours is still more than 80 miles off. Meantime, for decisions whether to carry an umbrella to the office, to risk a trip to the beach in 7 days, or a vacation to the mountains in 12 months. The long-range outlook may not be for improved weather, but it is for improved forecasting. Robert Hager, NBC News, Washington.
We're back with the fleecing of America right after this.
Problem?
The doctor says my cholesterol's still too high.
What about diet and exercise?
They didn't do enough.
So?
He suggested adding Lipitor.
Lipitor, the #1 prescribed medication for lowering cholesterol. In clinical studies, Lipitor with diet was proven to lower bad cholesterol 39 to 60%, total cholesterol 29 to 45%, triglycerides 19 to 37%.
He said over 4 million people have started taking Lipitor to lower their cholesterol.
Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver disease or possible liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant.
There'll be blood tests to check for liver problems.
Tell your doctor about muscle pain or weakness, as these may be signs of serious side effects.
You take Lipitor once a day.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist for more information on Lipitor and call 1-888-LIPITOR.
Well?
Lipitor did it. My cholesterol's way down.
Lipitor, the lower numbers you're looking for.
I should use Preparation H.
Cool it fast with Preparation H Cooling Gel. Cools on contact for fast relief. Preparation H Cooling Gel cools on contact.
Do you know why Alpo is one of the fastest growing brands of dry dog food? I'll tell you why. I think it's this stuff. Chicory. Okay. It works on the bacteria in your system. Alpo helps you live a long and healthy life. Now, if anybody asks you how old you are, lie.
A great dog deserves a long life. A great dog deserves Alpo from Friskies.
Ouch! Pain again? I thought your dentist said brush with Sensodyne every day.
I stopped when the pain stopped.
Keep using it. It keeps working.
Sensodyne every day. Now try new Sensodyne Tartar Control Plus Whitening every day.
Did you know your Aleve works on headaches too? When my wife got bad headaches, the pain relievers she tried, they'd work for a while, then quit. So she'd have to take more. You could see she was hurting. I had some Aleve for my arthritis pain, so she tried it. Now she's got her life back, and I've got her back.
Aleve can stop so many kinds of pain all day with just 2 pills. It would take 8 Tylenol to do that.
Thanks, Aleve, for making such a difference.
Sunday, politics and prescription drugs, the fight to bring prices down for seniors, plus gene mapping, an extraordinary medical breakthrough. But what are the risks? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
You're watching NBC Nightly News, voted best newscast.
Last night, we reported here of the sale over the internet of one of the last surviving copies of the Declaration of Independence. It sold for $8.1 million. Some historians bemoaned the sale, saying something so precious shouldn't be in private hands. Well, today we learned the buyers, television executive and activist Norman Lear and a partner. Lear says he plans on sending the Declaration on tour around the country. On Wall Street today, in light trading, the Dow was up nearly 50 points. The NASDAQ gaining almost 89. For the week, by the way, the Dow was up over 43. NASDAQ up nearly 121. Now to the fleecing of America. Today in Congress, the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development, better known as HUD, responded to some tough shots from the General Accounting Office, a government watchdog. HUD's supposed to help homeowners. The question is, did it stand by as they were conned in a real estate scam? NBC's Bob Kerr tonight on how it works.
Sheila Marable and her family in their Baltimore backyard, the house and the neighborhood. A dream come true.
This is a nice house. This is the most decent house we ever had.
But in a bewildering pile of complicated mortgage documents, her dream becomes a cruel fleecing of America. A first-time homebuyer, she admits all the paperwork is confusing, but says there's no doubt she was duped. She would end up promising to pay far more than she could afford. In fact, it was 3 times more than the house sold for less than a year earlier.
My credit is completely shot because of this whole thing.
Another apparent victim of an elaborate real estate scam called flipping. How does it work? Unscrupulous speculators purchase homes at a bargain, then inflate the prices with false appraisals and quickly sell the houses to naive buyers.
The crooked guys got into it and the conspiracy started, a lender, an appraiser, an investor.
This house, for example, a speculator paid $30,000 for it and quickly flipped it for nearly $80,000. And this one, bought for $31,000, flipped for nearly $70,000. Swindles for quick profits? The government is investigating. In many cases, it means default on the loan, then foreclosure. And because the government insures many of the mortgages, the Federal Housing Administration is stuck with the bill.
The taxpayer in the federal government is left holding these mortgages. While the schemers are off enjoying themselves, the taxpayers had to pick up the liability.
In March, the Housing Department's Inspector General, a frequent critic of the agency, found ineffective monitoring and a lack of oversight. The agency says it had begun reforms even before the criticism, and that it's now moving not only to try to force lenders to rewrite loans to help victims, but to use a SWAT team to stop flipping in the act. Also, the government says mortgage insurance paid by all FHA borrowers covers any losses.
We will not face losses on these loans. Any loss that we would have incurred, we will be compensated by the lender.
What you're seeing here are the first signs of a neighborhood's decay, the earliest stage of the loss of home ownership.
As for Sheila Marable, she's had to declare bankruptcy as an investigation of those who apparently victimized her is underway, trying to stop a fleecing of America so homeowners like her can hold on to their dreams. Bob Kerr, NBC News, Baltimore.
Back with more right after this.
You better believe a pain like this, from a soul like this, will go on like this, live on like this, and look like this, give you pride like this, cause it's true.
It's True Value paint, and you can't do better. It really is this good.
Goes on like this, lives on like this, looks like this.
True Value paint. Great paint, great store.
A significant discovery in eye health may be lutein, a nutrient found in these healthy foods. Now Centrum has the only leading multivitamins with lutein to help maintain your precious sight. Centrum Silver, now more complete with lutein.
My name's Bob.
Tim.
Karen.
I'm quitting smoking.
With Nicorette.
Nicorette gives me 2 ways to help control my cravings.
First, I help prevent them.
You see, I set myself up on a regular schedule. 6 pieces a day.
9.
12. But you know when you just get that craving anyway, late for a gig, rough crowd, I take another piece to help take control. And now, after smoking for 20 years,
I'm finally gonna make it.
I'm sticking with it. I'm gonna do it.
You can do it. Nicorette can help.
When it comes to half-ton towing capacity, Chevy Silverado beats any 4x4 V8 from Ford or Dodge. When it comes to size, Silverado has the biggest extended cab of any half-ton pickup.
What'd you do to my truck?
I just gave it a wash.
And with an offer like this, we made a great truck look even better. Silverado, the truck from Chevy.
A man's got to protect his image.
Cold stuff kill you?
Then try new Colgate Sensitive Maximum Strength. It's clinically proven to provide significantly more pain relief than Sensodyne, so you don't have to be afraid of anything. New Colgate Sensitive.
Suddenly, millions of people are dreaming about dairy foods. They just can't seem to get them off their minds. The reason? Lactate Ultra. Lactate is the simple, natural way to make dairy easy to digest. Just take it with your first bite. That's all it takes to make your dreams come true. Lactate Ultra, for the love of dairy.
Just ahead at 6, a warning from Consumer Notebook, this time about so-called holiday sales. When is a sale not a sale? And is that bargain price really a bargain? Also, homeschooling. The numbers are in showing some kids learn better at home. And will Mother Nature cooperate with your outdoor holiday plans? Join us at 6.
Now to Los Angeles, and a man with a remarkable resume, and just when retirement beckons, he takes on what will likely be the biggest challenge of his life, rebuilding the nation's second largest school system. Tonight, Tom Brokaw asks Roy Romer why he's doing it.
The Los Angeles school system is in meltdown. Too many students, too few buildings, too little money. 7 major ethnic groups, and in many, English is barely a second language. Factions fighting factions almost constantly. Why would anyone, much less a 71-year-old outsider, want to take on this job?
I called my oldest son. I said, what do you think about this? He says, you need counseling.
Romer doesn't need the money. He owns John Deere dealerships in 3 states. He doesn't need the fame. He was governor of Colorado 3 times and Democratic National Committee chairman.
What's tougher, being the superintendent of this school district or being governor of a big state like Colorado?
Being governor of Colorado was a cakewalk, just a cakewalk compared to this.
Romer is part of a trend. Outsiders trying to save urban school districts. In San Diego, the superintendent is Alan Burson, a former U.S. attorney. In New York, businessman Harold Levy took on the job. Lawrence Pikus studies school districts nationwide.
Large school districts have traditionally hired from other school systems. They're beginning to cast a broader net, looking for individuals with experience in other large organizations that show the same kinds of complexities and problems that we see in schools today.
But few administrators are likely to face the problems confronting Romer. Space alone is a nightmare. Los Angeles kids already are on part-time year-round schedules, and another 100,000 students are expected in the next decade. Sure. And there's a shortage of teachers. More than 20% teaching now aren't fully credentialed.
Here, they got every problem imaginable. This is the toughest mountain to climb, I think.
As governor of Colorado, Romer dealt with a $6 billion budget for the whole state. That was big, but it was still far short of the LA school district, which will run $7.5 billion this year. And not everyone is sure Romer is the man for the job. The Latino community, which represents 69% of the school population, worries about whether the former Colorado governor can appreciate their concerns.
I understand their frustration. They want their kids educated, but I think we can make it. This is why I'm having so much fun with this job.
In the long run, Romer may find it more challenging than fun. So why is the 71-year-old spending his golden years here instead of relaxing on a Colorado trout stream?
I thought about it in terms of, I got 18 grandchildren, and I thought for them to observe what I'm doing at age 71 may be as important a model as being on the side of a stream fishing. I'm doing this as a matter of conscience, to be frank about it. And also, it's the most important work any of us can do.
That is Nightly News for this Friday. Don't forget Dateline tonight at 9. I hope to see you later this evening for the news on cable on MSNBC at 9. Again on CNBC each evening at 10 o'clock. I'm Brian Williams reporting tonight from New York. Good night and have a good holiday weekend.
Now on the scene at 6, the list of restaurants he has robbed continues to grow. Tonight, what's being done to catch a notorious holdup man, and what should you do if you're in a restaurant he hits?
Tired of those telemarketers calling at dinner time? Don't count on Tennessee's Don't Call list to stop them, at least not for a while. Hear why the list is temporarily out of service.
And beware of those holiday sale signs. That bargain you want could end up being the costly mistake you get.
The Scene at 6 is next.
Channel 4 News with Dan Miller and Demetria Galadimos, Bill Hall, and Rudy Kalis.
Good evening and welcome to The Scene at 6.
When any place of business is robbed, it is a terrifying experience.